Their windows open and listen to music and had good times rolling. And they love singing with the radio. Singing with the radio. Let's bring that back. Ramapo 90.3 on the FM dial. While streaming online, you'll find WRPR is by the people for the people. And let's bring back singing with the radio. Singing with the radio.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho, H to the OV. I used to move snow.
Hello, fans of all ages. We are indeed the Beast of the East. Thanks.
Ryan Mork.
There you go, Dean. Ryan Mork, Scott Thompson, and Dean Rovatini here with you on this March 9th, Wednesday, March 9th, 2016.
We can't start yet.
What?
I left my phone in the other room. Wait 1 second.
Hurry up.
No, we can easily start.
We can start without him. Thank you for tuning in on Beast of the East on WRPR 90.3 FM, Ramapo College Radio. Once again on this Wednesday, March 9th. Before we start, very sad day in
Sad?
history. You don't know what today is?
Oh, the Biggie?
Yeah.
Get over it.
19 years since
Today's Haley Morrick's birthday.
It's also Haley Morrick's birthday.
Happy birthday, Haley.
That's the second part about this day. Biggie,
It's a really good day, though.
R.I.P. March 9th.
R.I.P. to the realist.
Yeah,
But
best
why-
rapper.
Not a
of all
sad day,
time.
though.
I mean, it's not a sad.
You
day.
remember him, whatever, and you enjoy the day because it's nice out.
Yep.
Free agency's open.
Beautiful day out. The new NFL season just opened up, and again, Haley Morrick's birthday, March 9th. Happy birthday, Haley. I guess
That's it.
Too bad we care about free agency more. Sorry,
yeah,
Haley.
free agency. Let's get right into it. First things first. Brock Osweiler does not deserve $18 million a year.
Not a shot.
Nope.
All right, we got that out of the way.
Tom Brady is earning $9 million this year.
That's just.
And Brock Osweiler is about to get 18.
Yeah, I mean, legitimately, I don't want to harp on this too much, but I feel like outside of New York, this is probably the biggest story. The guy started 7 games,
Yeah.
and he's getting $18 million a year.
It's all the potential, though. Like, you know what I mean? And I just,
You don't pay $18
Houston-
million for
I know, but,
potential.
like, Houston's just, they're a sad organization.
That's true. No point.
Like, I like them. I like their team, but, like, it's just sad.
Yeah, well, he's going to have a lot riding on him
Yeah.
He
going
turned down
into the season.
$15 million. The fact that he even got offered that, I think, is
Yeah.
He's been a
insane.
backup his whole life. Like you said, he played 7 games. You beat the Patriots, I guess you get a $6 million bonus automatically. Boom.
You get a bonus for
Yeah, I think it's
contributing
in
to a
the
Super
NFL.
Bowl team.
And that's very true as well. So,
But, like,
We'll
still,
see.
though,
Add that all together, you
ridiculous.
get $18 million.
I don't know. It's just the Texans have always tried to do so much with the wrong people.
Yeah,
And hopefully this doesn't bite them again.
it will.
It probably will.
I know it will.
Let's move local. Let's move to the Giants and Jets. The Giants signed Janoris Jenkins. Who else did they get? I can't remember.
Oliver Vernon
Oliver Vernon.
and Damon Harrison.
And Damon
Excuse
Harrison.
me.
Yes.
And the Jets, still question marks about Ryan Fitzpatrick, but they did get Matt Forte. They
Yeah.
lost Chris Ivory. Quick question.
What?
Who is the winner and who is the loser between the Giants and Jets? The free agency so far, and I think it's an obvious answer. I
Yeah.
think it's the Giants.
Yeah.
Jets haven't done much. And they're, you know, obviously the Giants have exploded right away in free agency, and Jets haven't done anything yet. But they got to sign Fitzpatrick. It's just silly to me.
Yeah.
It really is silly to me.
They have to. I mean, who you're going to put Geno Smith out there?
Yeah, they still have Geno on the roster. Get
Yeah.
rid of him, dude. The guy Fitzpatrick comes in and breaks all your quarterback records, like for as a franchise. You know what I mean? Like keep him there for another year or two, and then you have what was it? Bryce Petty is behind him,
Yes.
who's
Yeah.
great too. He'll grow and he can be your new guy for the future. It's just silly.
And you know what? We could bring up the Osweiler deal again. We said earlier, this Osweiler deal could single-handedly kill the Jets because you look at Fitzpatrick and you look at Osweiler. Who deserves more? Fitzpatrick,
yeah.
right? And you look at Osweiler, he got $18 million. Fitzpatrick
yeah.
might ask for that, and I don't think the Jets are going to give it to him because they don't have enough.
Yeah, like we were listening to LaGreca and Kay on the way home, and LaGreca made a very good point and said that Fitzpatrick's probably going to do everything he can to try to scare the Jets, but the Jets don't have the money. They don't have that space to pay Fitzpatrick that.
Yeah.
And again, like Michael Kay said, he's a journeyman quarterback. He's a guy that has found a niche in the Jets, and he's trying to exploit them right now after this Osweiler deal. So, Ryan, like you said, it's definitely going to hurt, I think, the Jets, because Fitzpatrick is going to try to push for something around that number.
And no organization, even the Jets, should give into that because of Brock Osweiler deal. The Brock Osweiler deal.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They got to be like, all right, well, that guy got overpaid.
Yeah.
We're not paying anyone that much money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they got to put a foot down. And what the Jets need to do is have their players pretty much, you know, you have to have like Brandon Marshall on the phone with, say, Fitzpatrick if you want him back, which it doesn't seem
and
like
you know
really
they want to.
Yeah, they're the players. Brandon Marshall and Eric
They
Decker
loved
him.
Fitzpatrick. They love
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick.
So, like, why would you want to bring in, like, I know the rumors around is, like, RG3 and, like, Kaepernick, or, like, the rumors. But, like, why would you want, like...
You wouldn't want another guy to learn your offense yet again.
another
You put
new
Geno Smith
quarterback.
on the bench. You have Fitzpatrick coming in here, first time in the offense, and just absolutely explodes. 31 TDs, breaks single-season record for a Jet. I mean, he's bound to sign. I mean, we're speculating about it. It looks like he's going to sign, but again, had no clue that Osweiler would turn down $15 million for an $18 million a year deal in Houston. So who knows what's going to happen? Free agency already fun.
Away from the quarterback position, though, you look at the addition of Forte, and last year you could have made the argument that that trio, Decker, Marshall, and Ivory, was probably the best in the league.
At a point, yeah. Ivory towards the end.
Towards the end,
But he was red hot.
And Bilal Powell picked up the slack.
Yep. Yeah, they were very good all together. I don't know. Like I think Forte is in my eyes like the best receiving running back in the league, and his health is always kind of issue. He's always like banged up sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Like I don't know if he's gonna really excel with the Jets offense. You know?
Mean, the Jets do have a powerful offensive line. Forte is sort of like Ivory in the way. I mean, he does cut a little more, but he is a scheme runner. You tell him where to go, and he's going to go there. He's not one to think really outside the box. Like you said, he's a consistent player. Sometimes he gets hurt though, because I thought he was a lot older. He's only been in the league for 8 seasons, but he's rushed over 8,600 yards, so he's a 1,000-yard rusher every year.
Wasn't a bad pickup.
No, not at all. I mean, the guy used to be a stud for the Bears. Maybe he just needed a different. Yeah, he needed a different team and a winning team at that.
Back on January 21st, I wrote a piece for the Armchair All-Americans, why the Jets need to re-sign Fitzpatrick. I'm not going to read the whole thing.
No.
But thanks. I'm not going to read it just direct. But you look at Marshall. He had a career year, his 10th year in the NFL, first as a Jet, 109 catches, the third highest of his career, 14 touchdowns, career high, 1,502 yards, second best. He had 1,508 in 2012 with the Bears. Eric Decker had better stats this year as the 2 receiver than he did last year than 2014 as the 1 receiver. And you look at Fitzpatrick, his stats were the best Jet quarterback season ever. Blows Geno's stats out of the water, blows Sanchez's stats out of the water. Even Favre, his 1 year with the Jets, he blew those numbers out of the water. It's the chemistry that they have with one another. That trio, Fitzpatrick, Marshall, and Decker. And he had that chemistry with Ivory a little bit. If they re-sign him, Forte will have a huge workload in that offense. Their big goal, and I said right as soon as their season ended, I said their main goal is to re-sign Fitzpatrick. They can get another receiver. They can get a good running back. They can improve their D, whatever. But you have to re-sign Fitzpatrick because he is very good with the Jets' offense. I don't think they want to teach another quarterback to play in that system, and I think that with the quarterbacks available, who's out there? RG3 would not succeed as a Jet. Kaepernick would not succeed as a Jet. Who else is out there right now?
I can't really think of anyone.
No one really prominent as those guys who have started in the NFL.
No big starters.
But it all arrows are pointing toward Fitzpatrick, and hopefully the Jets are smart and don't fall for the whole Osweiler thing. And picking up a quarterback in that market because this is the market right now.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's what you have. It's what
It's not the market. It's
No.
him getting overpaid.
and a guy who is
Dumb
33
organization.
years old, who has finally found somewhere that he can stay for a few years instead of moving his family back and forth. I'm sure he's going to be retiring in a few years. He's probably going to want to stay there. So hopefully we can see Fitzpatrick on our phones staying with the Jets.
Prediction right now: where's Fitzpatrick going, or is he going to stay?
He's going to stay.
I think
he's going to stay. He's a
Oh,
smart man.
Denver might offer him a lot of money.
My prediction's Denver.
You
I think
he's
the
gonna
Jets
go
are
to
going
Denver?
to mess it up. They're going to wait too long or whatever. And Denver's going to be like, this is a veteran quarterback who proved last year he's got the skills and with an elite offense.
Yeah,
I think he's
he
the
would
perfect
have- he
match
would-
for them now.
He would have the tools.
You know, why would you bring it?
And
I hate. I'm sorry. I just hate RG3 and Kaepernick. I hate them.
I don't like them.
I hate
either.
running quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I hate them.
Unless if you're Cam,
Dean's-
then you're stuck.
Well, Cam can.
Cam is proven
It's not like
that
he
he can
relies
play.
on his running.
That
Dean
too.
is starting to make me kind of switch. I want to stay saying that he's going to stay with the Jets, but it
I hope
really
he
makes
does.
sense.
He should.
I really hope he
Yeah.
does.
At,
Should he? The
at-
Broncos won the Super Bowl.
exactly, and that's the thing.
Oh.
He's,
Yeah, that.
Well, no, I meant I didn't think of that. I meant for the Jets' sake.
But
he
he's-
should.
he's
Right.
going to
Right.
a situation where Peyton Manning threw a lot, even though his arm was messed
Yep.
up, and that's what he did. You'd run first down, you'd
Yep,
throw the rest.
As bad
of
as
it.
Payton was, that didn't change their offense.
You just have to keep Fitzpatrick warm. You saw the
Yeah.
Jets do that. He was constantly throwing the ball, and
That would be a good move for Denver because they can
very good room.
they can kind of reset where like, okay, well, who's our future quarterback now? You know, Fitzpatrick's not going to be your guy for the maybe 5 years. It's not going to happen.
Well,
he can be your 2-year, 3-year guy where you go and draft a quarterback or someone else. You know what I mean?
Right. It also depends on what Fitzpatrick does. I don't think the Jets would offer Fitzpatrick a 2-year deal. I think if the Jets were to offer Fitzpatrick a deal, it would be for 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
It would be for probably as long as Marshall and Decker are going to stay there, and that's 4+ years. Marshall said
Smart.
he wants to retire as a Jet. Decker has, 4 years left on his contract, maybe 3 years left on his contract. I feel like the Broncos would be more likely to offer him a short-term deal with
Yeah.
money. The Broncos offered Osweiler $15 million. They probably offer Fitzpatrick that and some, but I don't think that the Broncos would sign him for anything more than 3 years. I think
Yeah.
the Jets would be the team to sign him for Fitzpatrick for 4+ years, and I think that might play a big factor in Fitzpatrick's mind as well. He wants longevity with one team, probably.
Oh yeah, after being
You with
bounced
him-
around.
Yeah, he said it before. He finally wants to sit down and play for a team
Yeah.
that likes him. But right now, the Jets aren't really showing. I mean, they're showing interest in him, but they're not showing $17 million interest in him.
Again, it would make sense for him to stay with the Jets, but football never makes sense, especially in free agency. You always see these guys bouncing around, especially for money. So, like you said, Dean, if the Broncos decide to offer him the money, there's probably a 75-25 shot that he's going to go there.
Yeah.
Because of that, because of that monetary factor.
And you know what? Signing Forte really doesn't help them. When you really think about how much money they have.
oh yeah, money wise.
Yeah, I mean,
that's true.
you would think that you would want to save money for Fitzpatrick. I mean, I get that it's 2 different positions, but they didn't have a lot of money to spend with anyway.
Yeah.
Before they cut Cromartie, they only had $6.7 million to spend this offseason. That was before they cut Cromartie, and he was, $8 million?
I
I think he was around that. So they had about $14-15 million to spend. And you give a lot of it to Forte when a lot of people were saying they probably would have drafted Elliott. That's big.
Yeah.
When you really think
That's true, too.
when you really think about it, this might hurt them. I mean, we said before, signing Forte is another big move for McCagnon, but in the long term, it might hurt them because people were projecting them to pick a running back. People were projecting them to pick Elliott. They could have gotten Elliott for cheaper than Forte. They could have gotten Elliott longer than Forte. I don't know how long the deal is with Forte, but it can't be anything more than 5 years.
I forget. I think it's like 4 years. Actually.
Yeah, exactly. They could have gotten Elliott for 4 years and cheaper. Now that I think about it, I don't really like the Forte signing. Skill-wise, you like it, yeah, but
Yeah.
when you want to think about the rest of the team, I don't think it's a good deal. I think that hurts them. It hurts how much money. If they had money to spend,
Yeah.
different story. They don't have a lot of money to spend.
But this is the thing, and you want to know what it is too. They could. Excuse me. Let me backtrack here.
Okay.
The Jets haven't had a running back that you could even talk about in the last decade.
That's true.
Yeah. Ivory was probably the
Since
closest.
Curtis Martin.
And at the 20th pick that they have, which is the worst pick they could possibly have after the season they had, a lot of people are saying in their mock drafts that Ezekiel Elliott is going to go to the Jets. And now there's speculation that he could go even higher because of how good he did at the Combine. So maybe this was a jump by the Jets GM to say, okay, we're
not going to get Elliott.
We're not going to get Elliott. We really, really need a running back. A running back that can stay on the field, but it might, hurt them in the end if Elliott does drop down. And you're like, oh, well, we just spent this money for this guy when we could have gotten a guy fresh out of college who's at the peak of his play. So,
and we said it before when just a half hour ago we were saying, why do guys go from in mock drafts? Why do they go from 9th or 10th pick to the 22nd? It's because a lot of teams don't need a running back. It's not because of their skill set necessarily. Teams just aren't going to bite.
Yeah, if you want to go based on skill set, a lot of these guys, especially wide receivers too, will go top 10. But it's again what the team needs, and a lot of it is addressed in free agency. Yeah. And hopefully Mel Kiper and Tom McShay making their NFL mock drafts, they really take into play what happens after free agency. I'm sure you're going to see some in about a week or so.
Yep.
Of
guys are saying that their mock drafts are torn apart after today.
Now,
definitely.
Absolutely, and it you have to focus on now. If you want to flip over to the Giants, they get two big guys on D. Yeah. Do they stay with defense, or do they get a guy like Ezekiel Elliott?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
what do you think?
Or even,
I think they're still going to stay defense.
I think they'll stay defense, but
unless if they stack up, unless if they get one more D lineman, or if they somehow sign a linebacker,
they could sign a wide receiver. They could sign Laquan Treadwell. I don't think that would happen.
I'm still set that they're going to get Sanu. I'm still set on it.
But this is the thing: would you have Sanu, a draft pick, a high wide receiver draft pick, and Odell Beckham on your team?
Yeah.
With Rashad Jennings, you have that defense there already. You can still bolster them up. Who knows? Who knows? The Giants.
I'm fine with. I mean, would I love Elliott? Yeah, but I don't think that the Giants should kill to get him.
After free agency today, I mean, if you want to start talking about the Giants, I'm very happy going into the draft because I don't care who they get at this point because it's just going to help them a lot. I think in this season, whoever they get.
Ryan Morrick, Scott Thompson, Dean Rovatini, right here on Beasts of the East on WRPR 90.3 FM. We'll get into the Giants in a moment. But after these breaks, we're going to talk about who we think is going to be the Jets quarterback. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Beast of the East on WRPR 90.3 FM.
You're listening to WRPR Mawa.
Now that's a face for radio.
It's perfect. It's unbelievable.
It's a miracle.
It's a TV dinner.
It's WRPR, Mawa Ramapo Radio.
It could change the world.
Hi, this is Ozzy Osbourne. For many years, I've had a drink problem, and I'm trying to battle that problem every single day. But one thing I don't drive my car when I'm drinking. I get someone to drive me. Do not drink and drive. It's the stupidest thing. If you drink, just don't drive. Not only are you going to hurt yourself, you may hurt some other person, and you wouldn't want that on your conscience, would you?
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy.
You realize I'm playing Big E all day today, right?
I figured that.
Who?
Before you asked it. Ryan literally turned his head right at Dean.
I'm a 90s kid. See, I don't consider myself a 90s kid.
Right, I mean, I do. We were born right in the middle.
I was born in 95.
94.
My 90s were spent... Oh, you were born in 94. That's right.
Yeah, so
my 90s were spent playing with my toys and... kicking dirt. I didn't say my first word until I was like 2.5.
You all right?
I had like
speech impediment.
Not a speech impediment, but
you were scared in public.
No.
How funny is that? And now you want to do like this?
I've come a long way, right?
That's funny.
I
love life.
I mean, I don't remember, but I had like a speech teacher and all that.
It happens. Hey, it happens. 2.5.
I'll give you I think it was like 2.5.
I'll give you a what?
I'll give you $1 if you can tell me my first word.
Popcorn.
No, it's got to be one syllable.
No, it's 2 syllables.
2 syllables. Yankees.
No.
No.
Damn.
And you're not on the right track either.
No?
No.
Is it the classic mama?
No, it's a real word, not dad, mama. Like, it's a real word.
Computer.
2 syllables.
2 syllables.
Yeah.
Come on, I can get this. Give me like a range of
baseball.
No, it's not a sport. It has nothing to do with sports.
Fire truck.
2 syllables.
That's 3, Dean.
I literally
TV.
No. One more hint. It starts with a B. Your dollar's out of the question, by the way, because you've already taken like 12 guesses.
I really don't care anymore.
All right.
Barbie. Barbie.
Bubbles. Bubbles. That was my first word when
All
I was
right.
2.5.
Well, thanks for joining us for Ryan's first word.
Bubbles.
What a way.
Bubbles.
He
said his first word.
Unbelievable. I know. I've come a long way. Who's giving us the facts?
Scott will.
And more B.I.G. But this has just been the song for
All right.
I can hear it.
Let me get my computer ready. I want to do Ramapo first, as always. So, in Roadrunner news, our track and field team, guys, is pretty good.
They are.
4 Roadrunners made the all-region track and field, if you want me to get it, Division III USTFCCCA all-region indoor track and field team.
All right.
That's a long one. It was senior Emily Shipley, Calvin Hartman, Jessica Cusick, and Jeremy Hernandez. So congratulations to them. I called TCNJs against Ramapo yesterday in women's lacrosse. That didn't go very well for the Roadrunners. They lost 17-1. TCNJ is ranked 5th in the nation. And if you didn't hear already, free agency started today, of course. So let's do a little bit of a rundown here as I get my phone out here. Oliver Vernon signs an $85 million contract with the Giants. 52 is guaranteed. Lamar Miller signs with the Texans. Danny Trevathan signs with the Bears. Osweiler goes to the Texans. Bears running back Matt Forte signs with the Jets. Damon Harrison signs with the Giants. Who else? Doug Martin stays in Tampa, stays with the Bucs for 5 years.
Travis Benjamin to the Chargers.
$35 million.
Yeah.
Travis Benjamin to the Chargers.
Yeah, it's loaded.
Jeez, I'm looking all over the place. Janoris Jenkins goes to the Giants for 5 years. Marvin Jones goes to the Lions. That's all I got for right now.
All right.
Chris Ivory signs with the Jaguars.
There you go.
That's all I got
Jaguars.
right now.
Jaguars.
And it's almost baseball season.
And it's almost baseball season.
Well, it is baseball season.
It is baseball season. I call it baseball season. Sticking with the Jets, feel free to call in with your thoughts at 201-825-1234. That's 201-825-1234. You can talk to us live right here on WRPR 90.3 FM, Ramapo Radio in Mahwah, New Jersey. If Ryan Fitzpatrick is not the quarterback for the New York Jets, who will be? I'm not going to say Geno. I think that I just think they're done with him, and I don't think that they would want him to sit a year out and then have him play. I wouldn't go with Bryce Petty either. I think they would make a move for someone. I just don't know who. I would think Kaepernick or RG3.
Give your prediction.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Let's see if this first caller can give us a prediction. Who's this? Where are you calling from? Hello.
Okay.
Never mind, we lost him.
Oh.
Call back if you want. I really feel like they would probably sign RG3. And I just think that it's a terrible idea because I don't think he would work in that offense. I think you have 2 great receivers and a really good running back, and then you sign a quarterback that relies on his running for almost half of his dropbacks, basically. I just feel like that's a bad move, but I feel like RG3 or Kaepernick, you could say, I'm saying the same thing for either or. Those are really the 2 guys available, and Kaepernick wants to be a Jet. They shouldn't, but I feel like they have no other choice unless if they really want to try out Geno or Petty.
I'm going to have to say Colin Kaepernick as well. I mean, you got to take the guy with the highest potential, a guy who has been to the playoffs, has been to a Super Bowl, knows what it takes to play in the postseason, and that's definitely what the Jets need. It just makes sense. If you're going to go after a guy that isn't Fitzpatrick, if he signs somewhere else, I think it has to be Colin Kaepernick.
My prediction is Geno Smith.
Why?
For this reason.
Please, why?
Because when before last year they signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, correct? They drafted Bryce Petty, but Geno Smith was supposed to be the starter.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
He got hurt. Sat him out the whole year. Ryan Fitzpatrick went off. You're not going to try to force this guy back in.
That's a good point.
Right? So, and he's still on the roster today, which is shocking to me because I would cut him and get more money so I can sign Fitzpatrick back if I was ahead of it. So, there's a plan for Geno, and I think it's the starting job because it was his the whole time until he got hurt. So, do I think it's the best move? No, but that's my prediction. That's what I think.
He's right. Geno was supposed to be the starter.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick was not supposed to start.
Fitzpatrick was supposed to come in, and I think, in my eyes, I always think like this. They sign veterans to teach the young guys. That's what I thought he was going to do, and maybe it was the plan. And then Geno got hurt, and you're like, all right, well, we're not going to put the guy we just signed, just drafted.
Fourth-round pick, right.
Yeah. So I think Geno's going to go back, which I think is a terrible move.
And I feel like if you have the choice between Geno and Petty, I feel like you have to pick Geno.
Geno's a ticking time bomb.
That's true.
You know, Petty doesn't have his sea legs yet, but I'm sure that if he really gets into it, he could be an insane quarterback. The guy has a cannon for an arm.
I feel like the Jets, they're not a team playing with house money right now, though. It's not like where you can look at this team and put out a guy and just be like, what is he for us? The Jets have a chance to make the playoffs. They have a chance to win 10, 11, 12 games. It's not like they're projected to win 5, 6 games and you can just throw someone out there just because you want to see what you have.
And that's why you need a veteran there. And that's why I think it's got to be Fitzpatrick, or you have to go shop for someone. You can't have Geno Smith, a guy who has not been in that situation, a guy who only likes to play when they are completely eliminated from anything because, what do we have to lose? You know, Fitzpatrick likes to be in that situation. He played hard against the Bills, didn't work out for them, but he played hard all season. And if he's not going to be on the roster, got to go for Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the best option, but I think that's what that's happening. Because why would you keep him on your roster then?
Yeah.
Geno. Why? It's just a waste of money.
And right, he's essentially meaningless to them right now if he doesn't play.
Because
if he doesn't play, he is meaningless.
If you talk about future wise, you have Bryce Petty who can be your future. You know what I mean? And like we said, Bryce Petty, you're not gonna throw him in because he has got his feet wet. But you gotta throw in a guy sometime. You know what I mean?
You have to throw in the guy when the games don't matter anymore.
I guess maybe have him start a couple preseason games, play with the first string if you want to do that. But that's my predictions with Geno, and I think it's a terrible decision.
We were at the point last year where the Jets lost a couple in a row. They had a bad loss against Oakland. They had a bad loss against Houston. Fitzpatrick was not playing well. And we said, is it time to make the change? Is it time for Fitzpatrick to come out and put Geno in the starting role? And it wound up that Fitzpatrick played very well after we said that, but it almost got to the point where Geno got his job back.
Yeah.
When Fitzpatrick came in, we were basically saying, okay, he's only playing for 6 to 10 weeks, and then he played well, and then he played poorly, and then he played well again. If he played poorly from the first week, Geno probably would have started the rest of the year.
Yeah, they would have probably brought him back in, but they didn't because Fitzpatrick he started
playing
awesome. Yeah,
I just think that I feel like right now Geno is a waste.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think they should sign a mobile quarterback. And the only mobile quarterbacks that want to be a Jet, I don't know if RG3 wants to be a Jet, but Kaepernick does. Kaepernick relies on his legs too much when he has Marshall, Decker, and Forte, and especially RG3. He'll do that as well. RG3, you said ticking time bomb. This guy, he's already exploded.
I said he's a bionic man. I mean, you saw the way he runs. He's got knee braces all over the place. It looks like he's just like 1-2, 1-2. Like there's a controller with him.
Let's hit the phone lines. Who is it?
My girlfriend.
Wow.
Hi.
Hi. Look at you.
She's a Jets fan, and I want to get her take.
Okay.
Because she watches her team religiously.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at that.
I can't listen to her.
All right, Marissa, hit us.
It's the one sport that I constantly watch.
So, Marissa, do you think that Ryan Fitzpatrick will be your quarterback on the Jets in 2016?
I think so, just because he's been better than any other quarterback that they've had in the past couple of years. Also, they're going to probably sign him before he becomes a free agent. Plus, they're not going to get a high draft pick, so they might as well take him while they can and hope for the best.
She actually brings up a good point that it's the best quarterback that the Jets have had in a while. It's a very underrated thought when you think about it. Again, he had the best season as a Jet last year.
And she also mentions the draft pick, the 20th draft pick, where guys like Jared Goff and Carson Wentz, the top quarterbacks, are going to be gone by then. Yeah. I mean, the Redskins might pick up a quarterback.
I don't think they would pick up that early.
Who had Goff going? Because he's the top quarterback.
Yeah.
They had him top 10. Carson Wentz was in the top 15.
I think.
Yeah. The Browns. The Browns were going to take Jared Goff or Carson Wentz or one of them. So like I said, all arrows are pointing toward Fitzpatrick. It just comes down to money, and that's why you hate sports, because it's such a monetary-based game now.
But he's also such a better player, too. Think about when they had Sanchez. He kind of did his own thing. He did whatever he wanted. He didn't listen to what
he forgot he was on the field half the time, in my opinion. But you're right. Fitzpatrick really he's found a home with the Jets. He loves his receivers. I mean, it helps that you got Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker 1 and 2. But he was using Tompkins. He was using Bilal Powell a lot. So
I just think they're going to regret signing Forte. I really do.
Yeah.
How does my orange shirt look today?
It looks great.
Thank you. I took the kids out for a nice walk. They played with the football. It was great. Love seeing the Suns have fun today.
Sports on and off the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you don't even know.
Always.
You don't even know.
We golfed today, played football in the quad, and came here to talk.
Scott got
a good day.
Scott got some sunburn.
Yeah. I'm not complaining, though. I'm absolutely not complaining. Marissa doesn't get sunburn.
Marissa doesn't get sunburn?
No, she doesn't tan. She doesn't do anything.
What? Well, you'll be all right. You'll figure it out. Next time. Maybe this summer you'll get a tan. I have faith in you. Marissa, thank you. We appreciate your input. You're always welcome.
No problem. Thank you.
Oh, who was that in the back?
Who was that?
Oh, that's Alexa.
How does she feel?
Well, she's from Virginia, so Alexa, are you a Redskins fan?
No, Seahawks.
Seahawks? Because I like their colors.
I love their colors.
Yeah, they do have great colors.
Okay, we're gonna
hang up now. Marissa, thank you. We'll talk to you later. Tell Alexa I said what's up. Did you tell her?
Oh no, she hung up on you.
No, they hung up on me instead.
They just took a phone call.
Who was that? Tell him to call into the studio. He's a Jet fan. Let's see how he feels. He's going to come here. They got Forte, Super Bowl champs.
I don't know.
Everyone on the Giants.
I want to talk about the Giants now.
Yeah, can we talk about Giants?
We can talk about the Giants. We'll talk about the Giants right after these messages. You're listening to Beast of the East on WRPR 90.3 FM.
Hey, parents of children with asthma, here's another hit from the Breathe Easies.
Don't smoke in the house. Don't smoke in the house. Don't smoke around the kids in the house. Don't smoke in the car. Don't smoke in the house. Don't break my heart. When you're second smoke in the kids, it can trigger the asthma.
Preventing asthma attacks can be as simple as making your home and car smoke-free zones. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org. Brought to you by the EPA and the
Hey, this is Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers for RAD. I'm here to remind you that drunk drivers are still a major killer of young adults in this country. So always choose a designated driver, and remember, music lives, you should too.
Getting born in the state of Mississippi, Papa was a copper and the mama was a hippie.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Energy efficiency interviews are brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
Lisa, do you always leave your stereo on in the other room?
Oh, well, I was going to turn it off, but
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days.
You're just repeating the lyrics to Hannah Montana's song.
Okay, I'm turning it off.
Millions of kids are using their energy wisely. What's your excuse? Learn more at loseyourexcuse.gov.
More Biggie.
You said it was going to happen.
I told you.
So,
To all the
naturally.
ladies in their place with style and grace.
Guy's the best. Literally best rapper of all time. It's not even a question.
I mean, it's obviously a question, but see you next time.
I think he's better than Tupac. I don't think that's a question, though.
They're gonna die.
You like Tupac better?
Nah, I mean, I didn't really grow up with them, to be honest.
That's true.
I listen to Green Day and Linkin Park. No,
Fall Out Boy.
Oh, no,
Listen,
I started listening to Biggie, like, my freshman year of high school.
I could not tell you any song that he's wrote, except for, like, More Money, More Problems, and Hypnotize. That's all I know.
And Juicy, the best rap song of all time.
What's that one?
It was all a dream. I used
Okay.
to read Word Up magazine.
Yeah, you know.
Mhm.
AKA best rap song of all time. My sister knows every word to that. If I can get her on this phone right now and rap it, she's pretty good. But
All right.
I have I'll show you. You guys probably aren't.
Yeah, not right now. We're kind of in a show.
We are doing a show. Let's
I
get
love when this
into
happens.
the New York Giants, who have beefed up the defense. They signed, who did they get again? Janoris Jenkins.
They got
Oliver.
Damon Harrison,
Damon Harrison.
and Oliver Vernon. Love it.
I like
Your
love
it.
it.
face confused me. You're like,
And they re-signed JPP. I mean, his numbers aren't going to be good, but
yeah. And I'm
Let's
happy
protect-
he kind of like cooperated with them.
Hey, he's getting
Took
his
less.
he's getting his own glove.
It's gonna be awesome.
So we'll see what that glove looks like. That might have like some
It's gonna give me nightmares.
technology in it. No, but I really like the moves that the Giants made today. Jerry Reese,
So
congratulations. You have your job for another year.
Yeah, right.
for now.
Because they have tons of cap space, and Jerry Reese
Oh, yeah.
said, listen, I'm putting my hand in the jar, and we're going to just toss it out to these
So
top free
aggressive.
agents.
I got really scared yesterday when hold on. Yeah. I got scared when Charles Johnson said he was going back. I mean, you can't really blame the guy. He just made the Super Bowl with the Panthers. But I got scared with that, and I got scared about Mario Williams. And JPP almost left also. Yesterday, I saw that they basically went 0 for 2 on linemen that they
Oh, yeah.
really wanted, and JPP almost left. They were almost 0 for 3.
Mm-hmm.
You look at that, and I got scared for a second. But they got Jenkins, a great. You could probably say goodbye to Umukamara, right? Because
I mean,
Umukamara is going to
after today, yeah. I mean, you have
Well,
to.
dude.
You didn't like him?
Never liked him.
Really?
Well,
Why?
even when they drafted him.
I was a huge fan
What was
when
he,
they
6
drafted
foot?
him. Yeah.
I don't like why would you draft a 6
Because
foot corner?
he was disgusting. He was
I
nasty.
didn't like him.
I
6
always
foot
liked
corner.
him.
I mean, look at Jalen Ramsey coming. He's going to be the top 5 pick in the draft. He's 6'1".
He came up good. I like Mukamura played well a lot of times, but I never liked him.
When he was on the field, he was all right, but
I kind of liked him. I mean,
it wasn't bad. No, don't get me wrong. He was a high-profile cornerback coming out of college. He just got hurt all the time,
Yeah.
and the Giants knew that it was a high-risk, high-reward pick. And
Janoris Jenkins
didn't
is
work out.
such an improvement. He's such an improvement. Janoris
Yeah.
Jenkins is low-key lockdown.
You gotta
He's
love.
straight up lockdown.
No, great moves.
Again, the Giants need consistency in that secondary.
Yeah.
Guys have gone to getting hurt left and right. People who can't perform. Janoris Jenkins has performed, and the one thing that he does well is he creates turnovers. He had 3 interceptions last year. He has 6 total touchdowns off of 5 interceptions and 1 forced fumble in the 4 seasons that he's been in the league.
Wow.
And
He forced a fumble and scored on it.
yes,
Wow.
he
That's
is insane. The guy just
Means
knows
he's fast.
the guy can cover well, like you said. I mean, obviously cornerbacks get beat, but he knows how to wrap up. He knows how to tackle. He had 64 tackles last year. His rookie season, he had 73 tackles, and I believe he had 2 interceptions. I mean, the guy broke out into the scene well,
Yeah.
and it's just he's consistent. He's only missed A couple of games every here and there for the season, probably due to concussions. But
yeah, real great job.
Really like that pickup.
I don't to be honest, like, I mean, I never really started following football like really until maybe like start of high school, I would say. And I don't remember ever the Giants being this aggressive.
No,
really,
no.
ever.
No.
With like no matter what, and I'm loving it. It's kind of overwhelming. I feel like it's like the Yankees or something.
You know, you know what it came from. I mean, people blame Reese for a lot of things, but I think it all started with the Odell Beckham pick. I think people didn't think that was going to happen. Obviously, the Giants go O-line or D-line, or O-line or
and no one expected Odell to be what he is anyway.
Not at all.
No one expected Odell to be where he is. Like you said, Reese, kind of kept his job last year because of that Odell Beckham pick. But he can be aggressive, and he definitely showed it off today because, like we said last year, all season long, the Giants should have won the NFC East. It was handed to them on a silver platter, and the team just couldn't do anything about it. And Reese definitely got the brunt of that, and he doesn't want that to happen again.
I don't think they're done.
No, comes out,
they're not
picks
done.
up a bunch of guys.
Jerry Reese kept his job for 3 reasons. A, his age. Because Coughlin wasn't really at fault. I still blame him for the whole situation with Odell. I blame him for some clock management. But essentially, when you look at the real reason that the Giants were bad and was basically talent, that's pretty much on Jerry Reese. So his age definitely played a factor. B, Odell Beckham Jr. If Odell Beckham's not on the team, then the Giants are essentially nothing. And the third reason is how much cap space they have. If the Giants did not have any cap space, Jerry Reese would have nothing to work with. We could be the GM for the Giants at this point with all the cap space that they have. So that's why Jerry Reese kept his job. And right now he kept it even longer. He made 3 very good moves. Jenkins is a very good corner. They have a stacked up D-line now. Are they going to put up great stats? No, but they have a lot of pressure.
But you don't know
they're
that.
going to be effective.
That too.
They're going to be effective.
There is
a lot
tons of potential on the team. Keep going, dude.
No, I was going to say they're going to be a factor. It seemed like last year when it seemed that defensive line really wasn't a factor at all during the games. Not a lot of pressure. And now you go sign those guys and Harrison, who's a nice run stopper, which I don't think the Giants really never had, to be honest.
No,
just
not in a
all
while.
over them.
Exactly.
So, great job by them.
And that's why you really have to give kudos to Reese and that whole crew there, because they went out, excuse me, and got guys in positions that they absolutely needed at the end of the season. They said, okay, we're thin at the corner position. Boom, Janoris Jenkins. We can't stop a run. Damon Harrison on the interior. We haven't had a linebacker in God knows how long. We get a solid outside linebacker / defensive end in Oliver Vernon. Now, what do you do at the draft? That's going to be the cherry on top of this whole free agency.
And we said before the Giants had no one. The whole Vernon thing was coming before Harrison, and we said they still need someone in the middle. And they got someone in the middle. They have 2 very good DNs. They have a very good tackle. One more, and
it's going to come down to, I think you need either one more defensive end. I think hopefully they are pushing hard for Mohamed Sanu, so you have to have another wide receiver there. If Victor Cruz signs back, you have 3 good wide receivers.
Yep.
If Cruz is,
and if Sanu comes back, Cruz has to take a pay cut.
I mean,
Cruz
if Sanu comes up here, Cruz. And this is where I think Cruz would take it again. Jersey guy staying in Jersey, and you put Cruz in the slot. Everything's starting to set up. We're putting the pieces there. It obviously is going to come down to the season and see if these guys can produce. But this Reese and his whole team are really putting together a solid season on paper for the Giants right now.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Oh, and this is what we haven't said in a while as Giants fans.
Yeah.
We haven't looked at our team, the team on paper, and said we like this team.
Outside of I remember this is the best I've felt about a Giants free agency move since Rogers Cromartie. When they signed Cromartie to that 5-year deal, that was almost 2 years ago on the day practically. I said that's awesome. That secondary improved.
Yeah, you're right.
And I felt that way about Landon Collins also. I loved the Landon Collins pick. I think he's going to be very good. You can't really blame him. I mean, he still played decently for a rookie safety and a bad
He had
defense.
100 tackles.
Yeah.
The guy was leading the league in tackles at one point. He led rookies in all tackles, and that includes ends, linebackers, everyone at the end of the season. I mean, that's obviously not good because the players were getting to the secondary.
Yeah.
But Landon Collins is solid, and they have guys like Nate Berhe and Bennett Jackson who can actually become something in the league. Bennett Jackson was supposed to start. Instead, Coughlin had him out there in the fourth quarter of the last preseason game. He tears his ACL, which didn't make sense. But again, you have Janoris Jenkins out there. You have Landon Collins. You have Rogers Cromartie. Jackson and Berhe might get up in there. Who knows? Reese might sign somebody else. They have a lot of money left.
There are still some linebackers out on this list too, and they need a linebacker.
They really do, man.
They have money out there. Who knows what is going to happen? This is only the first day, and all of this has dropped.
Yeah.
So
it's so nuts.
Usually, the wide receivers and the rest of the guys come out a little bit later.
It's gonna be a crazy week.
What linebackers are out there still? A lot of people signed. Bruce Carter's still out there. Not bad.
I was hoping the Giants would get a push for Bruce Irvin, but he went to the Raiders.
Yeah,
that's scary too.
I think that they're going to get a linebacker in the draft.
Imagine that. Bruce Irvin and Khalil Mack together.
Yeah, that's dangerous. The Raiders and Jaguars are in the come up.
They are.
Jaguars. Talk about the Jaguars signing Malik Jackson. They have Dante Fowler coming back. They get Chris Ivory. Who else did they get? Big guy.
Who?
Who'd they sign?
Didn't
they just sign a lineman?
Malik Jackson.
No, they signed Malik Jackson and someone else.
Jenkins? No.
No. Who did the Jaguars just sign? Call in. Someone help me.
Yeah, please.
Dad.
I'm not sure.
Bruce Irvin.
I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll go to a break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about what the Giants should do in the draft, and then we'll get into national teams, I guess. We'll go outside of the tri-state because the Jaguars are on the come-up, as are the Raiders, so don't go anywhere. The last quarter of Beast of the East coming up in a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere.
I'm a champion, realize Shaq's mechanism.
Hi, Shaquille O'Neal for Rad. This is not your normal PSA. Don't be stupid. Don't drink and drive. If you're going to go out and have a good time, it's fine. But designate a driver to drive home. Let's stop the madness. Don't drink and drive.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hey, parents of children with asthma, here's another hit from the Breathe Easies.
Don't smoke in the house. Don't smoke in the house. Don't smoke around the kids in the house. Don't smoke in the car. Don't smoke in the house. Don't break my heart with your secondhand smoke in the kids who can treat the asthma.
Preventing asthma attacks can be as simple as making your home and car smoke-free zones. For more Breathe Easy tips to help stop asthma attacks, go to noattacks.org. Brought to you by the EPA and the Ad.
That you can have whatever you dream.
I'd like to welcome to the stage the lyrically acclaimed.
Last time for Biggie. Promise. What are you talking about?
The Jaguars were supposed to get Oliver Vernon.
That's right.
And then he, whatever, I don't know what happened, but then the Giants got him.
That's what I was thinking about.
I think that was it. Yeah,
that was what I was thinking about.
Who was it?
Yeah, because they were really close. That was.
I thought Jackson was going to go.
Yeah,
to...
this is all you see on Twitter. It's like,
I thought Jackson was going to go to the Giants, but I do honestly like Oliver Vernon instead because he can drop back into coverage, which is something that we don't need Unga to be doing anytime soon.
Yeah.
And then you put Harrison in the. I'm just so happy.
Yeah, me too.
So happy.
I like it.
12 minutes left in the show. Call in with your thoughts. 201-825-1234. Yes, that is 201-825-1234. What should the Giants do in the draft? You have been high on a running back. I'm not really sure where you have stood. I have said defense, and I still think they should go defense because I think that the running back is not a huge need. I think that, again, I'm not high on Rashad Jennings, but I think it's enough.
He's there.
I think that he improved as well as the O-line. I think the O-line is improving. As that improves, Jennings will improve. You look at the last 3 games he had, he was on a tear. I mean, it's a really small sample size, but they're improving, and I think Jennings will improve also. And I just think that a linebacker is a huge need. I think they need a guy like Matthias Kiwanuka. We talked about it before. They need a guy who can play either the 4 in the 4-3 or the 3 in the 4-3. They need a guy who can play the end, and they need a guy who can play on the outside linebacker position. Their outside linebackers are slow. They couldn't tackle anyone. They couldn't chase down anyone. There was one game, Unga led the team in tackles because it's all they did was throw to him. I think that they need a linebacker or an end. That way you solidify that line and you can plug them in the outside linebacker position if needed, and it will be needed. I just think that the best thing to do is to go defense. That way you have a lot of veteran guys on defense as well as a cheap, young guy on the outside.
I'm going to go bold prediction.
Okay.
Very, very bold prediction. Probably won't happen. But if Sanu...
Are you actually predicting this?
No.
Okay.
No. Actually, no. I'll say my prediction. The Giants' defense needs to get back to the Giants' defense. People know the Giants for their defense, and they have not known the Giants for their defense in the past few years, so I'm going to have to say that Shaq Lawson goes to the Giants. It makes sense completely. You really have 4 guys that you just stack into your line. 3, and then you have Vernon, who can definitely blitz from the outside. But
so who do you move to the middle?
Well, Harrison will go to the middle. There's also going to be a middle guy in there. I mean,
because right now they have 3 guys.
This is the thing. Shaq Lawson loves to bull rush. He bull rushes and uses his hands. He's not that quick. He's a big boy. He's at 275 right now, and he can run a 4.8 40. I believe he did at the combine. It hurts the Giants, like you said, for the linebackers. Miles Jack had an awesome combine, so he's going to go up higher probably to the Jaguars right now is who they're looking to pick up. But defense makes sense, but Ryan, I just can't see the Giants passing up on Ezekiel Elliott. I don't trust Rashad Jennings. I don't trust Rashad Jennings.
I'm not
does
saying,
not like him whatsoever.
And like the Jets, the Giants have not had a running back that you can talk about and say, wow, he was a great running back. People said that about Brandon Jacobs, then he just exploded. And then there was no one else. Ezekiel Elliott can be that guy for the Giants.
All 4 of these people on NFL.com, they all have Shaq Lawson going to the Giants.
It makes sense. It
They
does
gotta go
make sense.
defense.
But after today, who knows?
I think they gotta go defense. Get a linebacker or Shaq Lawson. I wouldn't be upset with Lawson at all.
Obviously, the Giants trust their offense.
Who is not going to them? I don't think Joey Bosa will be available.
Joey Bosa won't be available. Jack won't be available.
DeForest Buckner won't be
I
available.
wish DeForest Buckner would be available, but he ran almost a 4.7 40.
These people have the Jaguars getting Miles Jack. They're going to be good, man. We'll get into that in a couple of minutes. But
all hours are pointing to Shaq Lawson. But again, the Giants can make a push for someone else. I think they still need a wide receiver. I don't think they're going to get one in the draft, but Laquan Treadwell...
There's no receiver that high enough in the draft.
Laquan Treadwell, they were saying, has Odell Beckham speed with 3 inches on him.
Wow.
I mean, the guy is very quick. He has a little bit of hand issues, but the skill set that he owns is insane. So you put them on the outside. But
he's supposed to be I'm not really...
He should be, if Ryan wants to check
round?
like everyone, he's going to be like the first wide receiver to go. Laquan Treadwell. He's
I
one of
think-
the first wide receivers.
I think
should
if
be the
anything,
first wide receiver.
they can pick up obviously not an effective wide receiver, maybe, but like they can get a wide receiver second round.
You have Eli Manning. Like you said, you could pick up a wide receiver second round.
Yeah, Treadwell.
Where does it say he's going?
Ranked 10th overall. This is updated on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't say where he's going, though.
They had him
They
around
didn't have
13,
the thing you were
14.
just looking at. They didn't have him.
Wait, hold on. Treadwell. These people have Corey Coleman ahead of him.
I see Corey Coleman is...
The earliest I see Treadwell is to the Rams, but that's only one guy. People have him at 16. That's probably needed. With
Again,
Calvin Johnson
Corey
retiring.
Coleman as well, but he's a high-risk, high-reward guy. Nasty skill set out of Baylor. I believe he's out of Baylor.
Did Noah Spence have a bad combine?
Kind of.
Because a lot of people had him going to the Giants.
No, the reason being is because he had 1 year under his belt as a starter, and Shaq Lawson kind of towered over him in that whole defense. He did very, very well, but again, he was 1 year starter, and he goes into the draft. They don't know. Well,
You're talking about Lawson or Spence?
I'm talking about Spence. Spence,
a 1 year starter at Eastern Kentucky.
Noah Spence. I'm thinking of Kevin Dodd. Excuse me.
Oh.
Kevin Dodd was the other guy on Clemson. Noah Spence went from Ohio State to Eastern Kentucky. He didn't have that good of a combine.
I just think that I think they like Jennings enough to the point where they can skip on Elliott.
Yes.
Again, if they got Elliott, would I be upset? No, I'd be happy. But it's not much of a need where they need a guy on the outside. And it's again, Elliott would be a stud running back for this team with the O-line improving. Elliott is very good. Elliott, I don't think that he's going to be a bust, even if he has a bad O-line. If he had a bad O-line, he could still give you 3.6 yards a carry. With a bad O-line, that's not bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, you really have to focus on, especially after free agency, sit down and say, what do we need right now to be a contender again? And then we can work out the kinks around the season. I think Jerry Reese is doing a good job, like we said, in free agency of working out what they need right now. And I think it's going to be defense, but we'll see what happens.
Where do the Giants have it in the second round? Same spot?
I think so.
Yeah.
Is it same spot? Yeah, usually like switches around. Maybe they could. I don't
Wait
know
for Derrick Henry, second round.
He's supposed to be a second round guy.
Is he?
Yeah. They don't have. Yeah. They don't. No one has him. I think first round.
Him.
That would be all. Imagine they got Lawson.
Yeah. Imagine.
You know what?
Because he's a power guy.
Lawson and Henry.
I wrote that they could.
Like
I wrote in an article for Armchair. They could trade up. They did it last year for
I don't think they're going to do it though because of where they are. They're 10th overall. That means they're going to get around a 10th round pick for the second round. You think they're going to spend something to trade up for a guy like that? I mean, they could.
They had what pick did they have last year? 9.
Did they?
Still did it?
They did for Landon Collins. It could happen, and Reese might say, "Hey, again, we want to win right now. We need this guy."
He's feeling something this offseason.
I would too if I had $60 million to spend.
He's low key a great GM. Low key. People bash on him a lot, but got Landon Collins. He's probably going to work out in the long run. Odell Beckham, yeah. Now he's doing all this. He's making a name for himself.
Yep. Again, he didn't get fired for 3 reasons: age, Odell, cap space. Simple.
I'm excited.
And I saw before on Sport Track, best website ever. Their salary cap was like 60-something million on offense and like 26 million on defense. He's loading up. He's loading up on defense.
You gotta like it.
And they got JPP back. He's going to be a leader for that defense. Reese is doing a very good job so far. He's doing a very good job. Let's move to the Jaguars, and we can talk about the Raiders also.
Yes.
The Raiders have just had poor luck, as the Jaguars have also. That just didn't come out right. You know what I'm saying, though. The Jaguars are going to be really good.
I think you were looking for as well as the Jaguars.
As well as, yeah.
But yeah, I finally
great moves.
Finally, teams that are down in the dumps. I hate watching. The Cleveland Browns are the Cleveland Browns, but I hate watching teams that have potential just absolutely. I don't want to say the word that's coming to my head right now, but they just don't perform. Look at that offense last year that the Jaguars had. Blake Bortles is an absolute stud.
Yeah.
Ryan, we don't have to get into Blake Bortles and your whole childhood.
My whole childhood.
But Allen Robinson, Allen Hurns. You just picked up Chris Ivory. You have Denard Robinson as your third-string running back.
Yeah.
TJ Yeldon's back there as well. You just picked up Malik Jackson. You have Dante Fowler, your third overall pick, coming back from last year. The Jaguars have potential.
They have Julius Thomas, too.
And they have Julius Thomas at the tight end. So Bortles has all of his tools there on offense, and you're slowly getting these guys on defense, and they might get Miles Jack in the draft.
Yeah. Where do they have him? Who do they have the Jaguars taking? Him?
They have Miles Jack being taken. by the Jaguars.
They have Miles
I thought you
Jack.
said-
They
oh,
had.
yeah.
Some people had
yeah,
Joey
just-
Bosa going to them.
Yeah.
Oh.
So let's see what happens. But the Jaguars, let's see if they can finally get out of this rut that they've been in forever, basically.
Same thing with the Raiders too.
You know what's big too? They're all young. Allen Robinson
Yeah.
went off. Blake
A
Bortles is
solid
young. He
core.
went off. Bortles had a sick year last year. He threw for a lot of touchdowns.
It's just
They're
like
a
baseball.
young team. They're a young team, and that could.
Just like baseball. Look at the Mets. What happened?
Adam Jones back to the Bengals.
Oh, Jets thought the Pac-Man was going to them. Oh, well. No, that's what George was telling me yesterday. But going back to that, it's just like baseball. The Cubs and the Mets, young guys, really making a name for themselves. Let's see if
the solid course. So good for them.
Beast of the East, WRPR 90.3 FM. Ryan Morick, Sal Thompson, Dean Rovatini. Rest in peace, Biggie Smalls. Happy birthday, Haley Morick. It is not goodbye. It is see you later. We're going on spring break, so we will see you on March 21st. It's not goodbye. It is see you later. So long, and take care, everybody. Have a safe break.
Just a swinging mic. We're talking, walk if you're down with the sick. Take up with some and take this on this jet out of town. Put it down for the father of rap. And if you get cracked, jet your trap. Come back, get back. That's the part of success. If you believe in the X, you'll be relieving the stress.